Okay, let's talk about your final project. Is it just another box to check for a grade? Or could it be your actual ticket to a great job? In this explainer, we're going to lay out the blueprint for turning that academic requirement into a powerful career launching tool. Let's get right into it. So this is the big question, isn't it? After all those months of hard work, is your project just going to be a line item on a transcript, or will it be the one thing that makes a recruiter stop and say, wow, we need to talk to this person? Today, we're going to build the bridge between those two outcomes. And the answer is what we call an industry-relevant project. You see, this isn't just about theory anymore. It's about creating a direct bridge that connects what you learned in the classroom to the real-world problems that companies are trying to solve right now. This is your chance to prove you can do more than just study. You can actually apply your skills and build something real. So, where do you even start? How do you find an idea that can actually build this bridge? Well, it all begins with laying the right foundation. Let's dive into part one, finding your big idea. This right here is the fundamental mindset shift you've got to make. Instead of starting with, what topic kind of interests me? I want you to start by asking, what real problems out there need solving? You've got to look outward at the challenges and the pain points that entire industries are facing today. And the good news is, these problems are basically hiding in plain sight. You can find them in huge industry trends, stuff like sustainability, automation, or data security. You can check out project platforms like Geeks for Geeks or CollegeLib, or you can just dive deep into some sector-specific news and white papers. Honestly, even a simple search for a keyword phrase like AI and logistics can open up dozens of amazing project ideas. And hey, don't forget about the experts you have right on campus. Your professors, your placement officers, these people are on the front lines. They talk to recruiters all the time, so they know exactly which companies are hiring and the skills those companies are desperate for. You have to tap into that gold mine of information. Now, if you really want to kick it up a notch, you gotta go beyond just researching problems from afar. Try to solve a live problem for an actual business. This is how you go from being just an observer to being an active participant in your field. It's a game changer. Now, I know this might sound a little intimidating, but you'd be surprised how open local startups and small businesses are to getting some help. You can just reach out and offer to do something specific, build a small prototype, maybe conduct some research for them, or analyze a data set they're sitting on. It's a total win-win. They get valuable support, and you get a project that has real-world validation baked right in from the start. Okay, so once you've got an idea simmering, how do you shape it into something that really truly stands out? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of building a project that recruiters are actually going to notice. The most innovative solutions are almost always found at the intersection of different fields. So don't just stay in your lane, in your major. Instead, ask yourself, how can I combine what I already know with some emerging tech to create something totally unique and valuable? Let's make this super concrete. So a mechanical engineering student who decides to learn some AI, they could build a predictive maintenance system. A commerce student who gets into data science could create fraud detection models. You see this simple formula? Your major plus a tech field? It's just a really powerful way to show that you are a forward-thinking problem solver. And if you want your project to be credible, you've got to speak the industry's language. And that means using the same professional-grade tools and software that they do. I mean, a project that's built with Tableau or Python or AutoCAD, it's instantly more impressive because it proves you can hit the ground running on day one. And using those tools to create something tangible, that's even more powerful. Nothing, and I mean nothing, beats a working prototype. Even a really basic piece of code or a detailed simulation shows a level of initiative that a simple research paper just can't touch. It proves you don't just study things, you build things. But, and this is a really critical piece of advice, you have to balance your ambition. Saying something like, I'm going to solve data security, that's just way too broad. But building a fraud detection model for a specific use case. Now that is clear, it's focused, and it's actually achievable. Trust me, a well-defined, completed project is always better than an overly ambitious one that you never finish. All right, so you've built an amazing project. What now? Well, the final step is proving its value. This is all about showing the outside world that your work actually matters. This is a question that every recruiter has in the back of their mind when they're looking at your work. Was this just a little academic exercise, or does this thing have real-world potential? When you start thinking about how your project could be scaled up or deployed, you're showing that you get how businesses actually operate. So, how do you prove that impact? With data, of course. Don't just say your project is good, you have to show it. Can you quantify the potential cost savings? Can you measure the efficiency gains it might create? These are the kinds of numbers that make recruiters really sit up and pay attention. And finally, please do not neglect the final report. The project itself could be absolutely brilliant, but if it's poorly documented, a lot of that value just disappears. You need to think of your dissertation or your project report as your very first professional document. It has to be clear, it has to be structured, and it has to be polished. And that means you've got to adopt a professional report structure. You need an executive summary for that busy hiring manager, a really clear problem statement, and sections on your methodology and results. But don't forget the most important parts, the industry relevance and the future scope. That's where you really prove you're thinking like a professional, not just a student. Whew, okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from finding an idea all the way to proving its value. So let's bring this all together into a really clear, actionable takeaway. Your action plan starts right now. The biggest challenge, I think, is often just getting started, right? It can feel overwhelming. So what is the very first thing you should do after you're done with this? Here it is. This is your action plan. It's a simple 5-step checklist. First, identify 3 potential industry problems. Next, research the tools and trends for each of those. Then, and this part is key, go discuss them with a mentor or a placement officer. After you've done that, you can confidently choose the best option and then draft your proposal. Following this process pretty much removes all the guesswork and sets you up for success right from day one. Because at the end of the day, your final project is so much more than just an assignment. It's your first real career move. It's a statement about your skills, about your initiative, and about your potential. So the only question left is, what's yours going to say about you?